Coming to you live from the offices of Chapter One Films in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is the 4D Podcast with your hosts, Nathanael Levinson, Greg, and Liam Maxwell. A new dimension in entertainment. This is the 4D Podcast.
Got a feeling today, boys.
Yeah? You don't think there's enough content here?
I think there's some stuff to talk about, but the second movie, what do you want me to say? Stuff happened. Stuff happened in the movie. I can confirm stuff happened.
I think I'm going to disagree with you on something then.
Did you like the one?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get
I was waiting for a reaction of some sort from our producer, but
you guys are the ones supposed to be talking out there. So
I'm talking out here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was taken aback. I thought this would be a pretty cut and dried. All right, well,
I liked it.
I
thought I was not like I fully like it. It had all the earmarks of me being a sequel in modern day. It's just a cash grab. Like, we're going to do everything bigger. Like, that never pans out. But I actually didn't mind some of the choices that they made.
okay, we'll get into that.
So
We're watching
the Muppets
1
Treasure Island
and Den of Thieves 2 Pantera, which is currently in theaters with Gerard Butler and a bunch of people I don't know. John Halo. John Halo was in the first one.
You know,
Who?
Ice Cube's son.
Yeah.
Oh, that's who
Ice
Donnie
Cube's-
was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Found that out in a little bit of research.
It looks like you. Did you really? You didn't know that?
I can totally see that.
I
He's
just
got
found it out
he's got
researching. I had
he's
no
got
idea.
Really? Come on,
Yeah,
huh?
I can see that.
Not gonna lie, he gained a few lbs in that second one.
He did. Big time.
He was a big second
Yeah.
one. He went from not looking like a really like sharp dude,
Not looking like Ice Cube to looking like Ice
really
Cube.
like a sharp dude.
Yeah, no. Boy,
So those watching, wondering why you can't comment right now,
Because you're an idiot.
You just gotta subscribe to the channel,
Figure it out by
like,
now.
subscribe. Yes, we'd love to interact with the chat while we're doing our
Can you
thing.
turn my
So
headphones a little bit? Everything's quite
please
loud.
do that. Yeah, I got you.
music down in my headphones.
Thanks. I don't want to have to hear Liam drone on about. That was a little too much.
Now it's well, princess.
Right there. Check.
Music
Right there.
down
Right there.
in my
Right there.
headphones.
All right. Okay, so we are talking about Den of Thieves 1, but also Den of Thieves 2, which
I kept
just
calling
came
this
out
movie Dog
recently.
Days. And I literally can't tell you why I kept thinking it was called Dog Days.
Dog
But I'm glad it
Afternoon
did
was also
because-
a robbery
Because
movie?
Dog.
Is it because Dan?
I've seen the movie in like a
It's
decade.
they're robbers.
It's
They're
heist adjacent?
It's
Heist adjacent.
the point of the movie, like the premise of the movie, isn't revolving around a robbery, but it is revolving around robbers. Just happened to be running away from a robbery, and the whole movie takes place
It's like
after.
it's a post heist movie.
Just picture
Yeah.
the entire movie in one warehouse,
Well, it is,
which might be true. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is.
It's a pretty
It's
low.
very
low
much
budget
an
movie.
isolated
I can't
movie.
think of a single scene that happens.
That was where
outside
they because the muffin. That's from where they were like, yeah. What was in the briefcase? We don't know.
No.
It's just something.
That was
And they
no.
put,
That,
like, a
that
light
was
bulb in
Pulp
it.
Fiction.
Was-
That was
No,
Pulp
that was
Fiction.
Reservoir Dogs with the briefcase. Nothing.
Pulp Fiction has a briefcase, and at the end they open it up, and
That's
it's like
from Reservoir
shining
Dogs.
light. That briefcase that
It's from Reservoir Dogs. It's like the connection between Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs.
Oh wow!
Wow.
I just,
Yeah.
I
So
never,
and Quentin Tarantino was like, I could be Mandela affecting myself right now, but
I don't
he
know
was
if
like,
that
yeah, we never decided on what was actually in the briefcase. It was just supposed to be something awesome.
I mean, so I guess you could call it heist-ish.
Heist adjacent.
Yeah.
It was a post heist movie.
This movie was
This movie.
very much a heist.
both movies are heists.
So, Den of Thieves 1 follows Gerard Butler, who is Big
Did
Nick.
you say Gerard?
Gerard.
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 There's 2 R's in
It's
there.
Gerard.
Americanized. It's Americanized.
Gerard
Yeah, come on. Class.
You missed an R. You said Gerard.
Okay, I miss a lot of letters, dude. When has that ever been a problem?
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler, it plays Big Nick. He is a.
I swear I
He's a
thought that was like
sheriff.
a porn name. Like that was a joke.
I mean, might
He kind of
be.
some of his dialogue
yeah,
is
he's-
porn adjacent. I feel like.
It's kind of a monster movie. So
Yeah.
he's a rough sheriff guy he's just introduced as a rough character who's cheated on his wife, and he's always smoking cigarettes and just eating food off the floor. He's just a gross dude.
But he's the head of major crimes.
But he's the head of major crimes, and he's investigating a crime that just happened where a group of stole a armored like money car.
Truck.
Yeah, an armored truck
Without any money.
without any money in it. So
and ended up killing a bunch of cops. Well, the opens with that.
it's like it opens
and
with a
you
big
see that they're
shootout.
like clearly military, well trained, and then they end up killing a bunch of cops and driving away with the truck, and then we get introduced to Big Nick. Just the worst.
Yeah, we'll get into the brief synopsis and we'll come back and touch on those things. So, he kind of connects what just happened to a group of guys they've been tracking for a while, and he kind of nails down these are out there doing them. He roughs up one of them, and he kind of gets his in through that one guy who's supposed to be kind of like a lackey. He's like the driver, quote unquote, kind of a small player in this bigger picture, and so he's getting all of his information from him, and kind of just following along this gang the whole movie into the end, where there's this big. The big crescendo of the movie is that there's their big planned heist. They kind of throw it to throw the cops, but Big Nick follows through on it. He kind of catches them in the act of everything. There's this really big shootout, and then he pretty much kills all the bad guys except for the driver guy, who is he's kind of a dude, and he had locked him up in the car. He gets to the truck or the car where they had all the money. It was supposed to be. It wasn't there. And then he comes back to the car, and the driver dude is gone. And he kind of puts all the pieces together that driver dude was actually the one running everything. And so it's a little bit of a
Twist.
Yeah, it's a great twist. Honestly, you find out that he's the big
It's kind
fish.
of a great twist.
I
Yes,
like
I
that.
feel like
And that's the movie.
The movie does some things where it just straight up lies to you, which I don't like, or at least it confused me.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So
we say this because the heist movie is about the heist. The heist is they're in Los Angeles, and the robbers are taking the money that's there to be destroyed. So it's like it gets unmarked and it's supposed to be destroyed, so it gets taken out of the system. So it's functionally free cash that's not being tracked, and it's like $30 million, which doesn't seem like a big take if I'm honest.
And there's like a group of like 6.
Yeah, it's like 5-6 dudes. So they get like what, $5 million a piece, which
I feel like it was
I mean
more
that's a
than
lot
that
of money.
because-
No, they said 30 million.
Did.
They said 30 million.
I'm saying more people than that.
Oh
More
yeah,
than
yeah,
five
yeah,
or
yeah.
six.
Well,
because,
a lot of them died.
well, but other than so it was
Yeah,
kind of
it was a
broken
fairly
up.
big
It was
crew.
broken up into two groups. So you had the kind of Hawaiian dudes that made up like 5 in itself with the driver guy, and then there were like 5 or 6 actual combat dudes shooting guns. So
Well, I guess
I'm gonna say
So here's the thing. Like, how much do you think all that military hardware cost them? Like, yeah, they're buying on the black market, but they have like high level military gear. It's got to be running up some.
It's a net
some
profit
banks.
of $1 million
Yeah,
each.
like
for the
they're each
boys.
getting like $1 million. I don't know that that's worth risking life
they
and limb
get
for.
they get the one.
I guess they imply that they've robbed a bunch of
they
banks.
they do the one place, and the guy's like, "Oh, this is a great take," and he goes, "It's a great take, or we could reinvest it." And the guy's kind of like, and he's like, "Yeah, let's go for the big one." Remember, halfway through it, so it does imply that they are pretty much doing exactly what Liam said. Was they're spending a lot of money to then make more money, I guess.
Yeah,
marginal.
And it does imply that they robbed like 4 banks that never got solved.
Right.
So it's like it's John Halo, Pablo Schreiber, who was John Halo in Halo.
Is it? I've never seen the Halo movie.
Well,
It's a TV show, and
it was played by
lucky
Pablo
one.
Schreiber. Pablo played John Halo.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
And I call him John Halo because he kept taking his goddamn helmet off and like, my brother, I don't want
the Halo show.
Yes.
Isn't that like besides the point?
He literally would
not
put it on,
what
to the
does.
Jeep, drives to a place, and then takes it off. I'm like,
I didn't know there was anybody
keep your
named
damn helmet
Halo in
there
Halo.
isn't. That's why I'm calling him John Halo, because he served the title Master
Okay,
Chief
okay.
because he kept taking his damn helmet off. I don't want to see your face.
That checks out.
Anyways, we're not here to talk about Halo show. We're here to talk about
Pablo
Dog Days
Schreiber.
1. Den of Thieves Uno. I mean, I thought it was pretty decent.
I had a lot of fun watching it.
I thought the first one was a great movie.
It was
I wouldn't call it great.
a mess
Yeah.
in many aspects.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun. But
Yeah.
despite it all, I had a lot of fun.
I thought it
watching
was a fun watch. The shootout at the end was very good.
Yeah.
The shootout was super impressive, and then I found out that they actually trained each of the units separately in different kinds of military combat. So that you had the bad guys operating in certain maneuvers, and then you had the good guys operating in different, military procedures.
Yeah, the shootout at the end was very
yeah.
realistic for like trained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought all the action was like well done.
Yeah.
My biggest qualm was I didn't know how to feel about. I guess I knew how to. I knew how I felt about Big Nick, but I was like,
He's a terrible person.
I was like, wouldn't it make more sense to make him redeemable in some way?
in some way. Yeah.
Like just a complicated person. He's not even a good person.
No, he's just a terrible person the entire
I was like, that
time.
didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
So what I won't call it a great movie is because there are all these little plot threads that just don't go anywhere. The whole thing about him getting divorced from his wife,
then
meets his kid at his school, and then like halfway through the movie, that just gets dropped and it doesn't come back up.
That's a
at
good
all.
point.
Yeah.
And his whole thing with the FBI guy, like they knew each other, but there's some tension there, but that doesn't lead to anything out of that.
How
and
funny
then-
was the scene? This is like a similar note. How funny was the scene where the boyfriend comes over of 50 Cent's daughter?
Oh
and they
yeah.
intimidate him.
That was good. That
And
was-
it never is mentioned ever
nope.
again. Like I don't know
Nope,
what
disappears
it
from the
was
movie.
for, but it did make me laugh.
Oh yeah, 50 Cent was in this movie.
50 Cent.
50 Cent. That boy is yoked, like beyond.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
jeez.
huge, dude.
A monster.
He's a big
Fiddy.
guy.
like
man.
there's a part in the movie where they're like in a garage. The guys are all in a garage like working out, and Fiddy's benching like 225. I'm like, I bet he's actually just benching. Like it's just his normal. They're just like, Fiddy, just do your normal workout. And we'll
He's
film.
throwing around kid weight.
Yeah, no movie magic there.
Yeah, no, it was like that. That's bench pressing that absurd amount of weight. Yeah, dude's traps like rose above his ears. Was nonsense.
He died, right?
Yes, he did. Everyone died except for
The character,
Donnie,
not real
Ice
50
Cube.
Cent.
Ice Cube Jr.
Donnie.
Yeah. Everybody on the bad guys except for the Hawaiian crew that was secretly with Donnie and
Max Holloway.
Oh, that's
Max
right.
Holloway. There's actually 4 MMA fighters in the first
I
movie.
know. That's kind of weird. And
Yeah, there were a bunch of
more
MMA
in the
guys.
second one.
Yeah, Cito.
Yeah.
So weird. I was looking for I was researching if there was like a connection, and I don't think there was.
It's
like as
just
far as
when,
like the director.
when you're
being-
looking for goons.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Also,
Look for them
also
in
all
the
of Big
UFC.
Nick's main crimes unit,
Mhm.
they were nobodies. They had no character at all.
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
the goons didn't either. Like the bad guys, Lilo had a backstory, Donnie had a backstory, and that was it. There were characters in that movie, which was like, you can't give me these big crews, and then they didn't even give me like, oh, sorry, this is Katana. Her sword steals the soul's ring. Like even that would have been more than what we got. We got nothing. One line about this guy loves crack jokes,
Yeah.
but like nothing.
And they're just all
there.
three of them you mentioned are despicable human beings.
Oh yeah. His whole crew
So I'm
is
like,
despicable.
what am I supposed to be feeling here?
Yeah, that was unclear. And then the twist where Donnie's because the whole movie they kidnap Donnie, the Big Nick and his crew kidnap Donnie and basically try to flip him because they think Donnie's just some small potato. But it turns out like the end of the movie, it turns out Donnie met John Halo and like planned this because they met in prison and went to like brought this heist forward to like plan the whole thing because he works in a bar where all the people from the Federal Reserve go, and he just like heard stuff and planned this big heist.
Yeah.
Except then, like John Halo's crew acts like Donnie is the nobody. And
But I
like
think
after
they
he gets
think
right, but
for
I don't understand
John
why.
Halo. Like John Halo knows that they're in this kind of equally.
Right, but I
And the rest of his
didn't
crew.
understand why they need to make Donnie seem like he was a nobody. Why couldn't John Halo have been like, this guy came up with a great plan? We're on this.
Some of
Unless they were trying to imply Bosco and those guys were like white supremacist Nazi guys, and that's like, oh, we in order for a black man, but they never implied that at all.
No. I think some of that information that's been given to us was given in the scene where he's being interrogated. He's effectively telling Big what's going on. Donnie is like, oh, okay, I'll tell you everything. I'm just a small piece. I'm a driver, and this is how it went. And really, you're seeing that in video format. And so rather than just hearing, you're seeing video of him walking up, being like, hey, yeah, I'll be your driver. I'll do this. When in reality, none of those actually happened. And so some of the scenes where his members were treating him that way, I think came from that kind of monologue.
Okay, so I can buy that, like he's just lying to them, and then the video segments we're seeing there are from him just lying to them. Right. But then why, when he gets back to John Halo, is he like threatening him with this big barrel of acid?
Okay, so that came right after what's his name showed up at the restaurant and was just like, which that made sense because if Big Nick shows up
What
and
was
he's
Big
like,
Nick even trying to do there? It looked like he was trying to get Donnie killed.
Pretty
I did
much
not understand what the play was there.
I think he's just a dumb dumbass, like Big Nick. Like I don't think he's smart at all. But he's duped by John Hale's girlfriend.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Totally
going on
wrong
there.
spot to go. Like,
yeah.
Well, it was the fake bank heist when they went to the sewers.
But I'm like, how are you not second guessing what the girlfriend of the main you? You're just taking it at face value.
So he has this one big moment. So at the end, what happens is the heist people start off by going into they seal it all off. They hold a bunch of hostages, and they basically tell everybody, hey, give me a helicopter and some other things, or we're going to start killing hostages. They act like they kill one, so that really gets them moving. And they say, don't call back until things are ready. Mm-hmm. So basically buys them like 50 minutes. And their plan is to tunnel out of this bank and then do their real heist. So Big Nick just bursts in there because he has an inkling that this is actually happening. So he realizes all the hostages are fine and they've tunneled out. So that, other than that, though, did he make any? Because that's objectively like it works out time, right? Like that.
Well, he made an assumption. He said, "I don't think this is the real heist," and he was correct.
Right. Yeah. So other than that, does he have moments of? I guess money was. I mean, I did think that the scene where they have all like the prostitutes and like they're drinking and at first I was like, oh, these are all nasty cops. They're the bad guys.
Yeah.
But then
as we're the bad guys.
Right. But then after he wakes up, he tells all the girls to leave, and he's
Bitches
like,
leave.
do we look like guys?
Did you put that on the soundboard?
I saved it, but I didn't have time on the soundboard. I'll play.
We watched the original RoboCop, and the main bad guy just busts into this. So one of the business executives is like having some prostitutes over, and the main bad guy like goes to kill him, busts in the door, walks in with a shotgun, and says, "Bitches leave." So good.
Good line. That's kind of the vibe of our podcast.
There it is.
Bitches leave.
That's RoboCop saying that?
That's OG RoboCop. No, it's the bad guy in RoboCop.
It's the dad. It's the dad from that '70s show.
It is.
Oh, okay.
I thought that scene was clever because I was sitting there just thinking, oh, Big Nick and his guys just being horrible people. But in reality, he tells all the girls to leave as soon as Donnie wakes up, and he's like, do we look like the kind of people that would just take you to jail? And he kind of sets the whole situation up to make it seem like they're just these awful cops, and they've got drugs laying out, like they're doing all these things. I don't think that was actually going on. However, Nick, and then I was hopeful. I was like, oh, maybe that means at the beginning his wife just got mad because he keeps doing this undercover stuff, and it's damaging his relationship with his wife. But in reality, he's not cheating on
that
her.
Guy.
Nope, he was cheating on her, and then he cheats on her again, or I guess not again because she already left him. I don't know.
The scene where he like walks in on them having like a wine night is really tough to watch.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh my god, you're the worst person ever.
I was like, we were like, oh well, I kind of hope he dies in the shootout, but I know there's a second one.
Exactly right.
I that honestly.
And I took it too far.
I said it to Nathanael. I was like, man, this would be a better ending shootout if I knew there wasn't a second one, because I'd be just kind of thinking he was going to die. Like, I would be like, the whole movie is setting up to where he's this trash dude, but maybe he at least saved the day at the end and dies. And then good for you, dude. Go and die and be a trash dude. But then I knew there was a second one, so he survives.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree that his big black movie.
Also, the sequel look in the movie, the end of the movie is in like a British pub that happens to be a diamond exchange, and this guy comes in and he's speaking, and then Donnie responds in the worst English accent I've ever heard. I'm like, you don't think British people will scope you out and be like, okay, you're American?
Yeah.
What are
he's
you
like?
He's like, he literally looks like Dick Van Dyke, like, go blimey, and I'm like, oh my god, I can do a better English accent than that.
All right, we're gonna release Terra for a couple of years. Work on your accent,
please, Ice Cube.
Just wait till you get to the second one and all the horrible accents and that. My goodness,
he can accents.
I don't think that he can act very well.
No,
period.
he wasn't a great actor. He doesn't have any. He doesn't no emotion in his face.
I've never seen him be good in something.
Yeah,
he's just Ice Cube. He's in Straight Outta Compton.
Oh, Ice Cube's not good in anything either. He's not a good actor.
I like Ice Cube's shtick in like the Jump Street movies. Like I think him as like the angry
he plays
black,
just like an angry black dude.
Angry like the stereotypical angry black head, but he's good at being angry, like having a cross. Actually, kind of angry looking,
nuanced.
Yeah, but in any other movie he's in where he has to be nuanced, it doesn't work. If you see in a XXX State of the Union, that movie was so bad, dude.
Definitely not. You know what I
Oh,
was
man.
thinking? This felt. I know we watched this together. I don't know if you watched it. Heat
Yeah.
felt very like Heat 2.0, but not as good as Heat.
Yeah,
in my
you're
opinion.
thinking mainly just because the main cop character was just such a douche.
Yeah, and like the dynamics of the leader of the crime crew and
Yeah.
then the leader of the investigation in the crime crew, and
Yeah,
how like
there's a little cat and mouse going on.
yeah, cat and mouse would be a way to phrase it, right? And like not cat and mouse, like it felt similar to Heat 2. They are like very intermingled in each other's life. It's not like they don't know about it. It's not like each other, but they don't know each other's faces. It's like from the get-go, they are very aware of each other. They're in like intimate environments together. And so yeah, cat and mouse, but it felt very much like Heat. The henchmen, which is armored trucks, just like lighting up civilians.
Yeah.
I mean,
And again, like I think the best part of the movie is that ending shootout because it's just really, really well
It
shot.
was, yeah.
it was
And
extremely
people
well
get
done.
shot in that shootout. People get shot in actors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you-
like so often people get shot and they're just like doop doop doo. I'm
Yeah.
fine, but it was actually like a very realistic, very grounded
Right.
shootout,
Mhm.
and they were using actual military tactics, and it was really, really well done.
They had to constantly be reloading, which nice. It was hey, that pistol has 2,500 shots in it.
The worst is because like so like a pistol magazine can hold a decent like 13 to 18 bullets depending on
you can extend
the make and
yeah,
the model.
sure.
No, even like a normal one.
Yeah.
And depending on what caliber of bullet you have and things like that. But is when they have a 6-shooter revolver, I'm like, guys, that can only hold 6 shots. And you're like, bang, 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 like,
So
hello,
With how many
stop.
people are on a movie set, that shouldn't.
That shouldn't-
There should be
exactly.
one person's job whose
Exactly.
their entire job is like the weaponry, like
Exactly.
the
That
problem-
should never happen.
The problem is that it takes place, and then they
Yeah,
just sit there
sure,
and they're
sure,
like,
sure.
nobody will notice. Just cut these scenes
Right,
down
yeah.
by 7
I feel
or
like
8
there's
minutes.
an old Looney. One of the first ones where he meets Yosemite Sam, and Yosemite Sam pulls out 6 shooters. Yosemite pulls out 7 shooters, and then like 8 shooters, 9 shooters, 10 shooters, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger. I feel like that's how Hollywood treats guns.
Yeah.
It's just like it's all cartoonish.
That's a
I'm
good
like,
point,
guys,
though, because I guess there could be way too much credit, but there could be them properly handling a gun.
Yeah.
And then
But
the
they're so then it's just
Yeah.
them just
Well,
continuously
I wouldn't give them that
shooting.
much credit.
The,
Yeah, I know.
the thing is, it's all just a matter of like time. Like for them, it's just how much time can we show on screen? We want to show him get from point A to point B. So he's running there, he's shooting, he's reloading,
Well-
he's doing a bunch of things, and then they go, well, we don't need to sit there and show him reloading every 2 seconds.
Well, on that subway scene, he shoots 7 or 8 shots from that 6-shooter revolver. Yeah, it's bad. It's like it's just have him shoot.
Just
Like, it's just lazy.
Yeah, it's just lazy.
so
Yeah. Anyways,
I did. So for me, the movie did get me to. I don't know. It got me to like it by the end.
I agree.
for whatever reason. Because I sound
again,
with you.
I like. I would not call it a great movie.
That's true. Okay, maybe I thought was if I was going to just watch a fun action heist movie, I would probably say that's great. I don't typically like fun action heist movies, and right, maybe great's not the word because they didn't really go above and beyond what they had to do to be
Yeah.
a good action heist
Like,
movie. Because I think
the-
you could have,
yeah.
you could have made good characters
Yeah.
and had all those
And,
things.
yeah, and so that's the thing that really holds it back for me is the technicals are very well done,
Yeah.
but the character work is just
Yeah,
it's
there's a
just
lot
like really low. They have some interesting character threads, like his whole wife thing, and maybe he's on a gruff. Like, no, he's just an asshole, and the whole wife and kids thing that just disappears.
Yeah.
Um,
It felt like a lot of I don't know if you guys felt this way, but a lot of unbelievable elements of like the heist, like the actual specifics of the heist.
yeah.
Being a delivery man and just walking around unescorted.
Did
That
you
whole
notice
thing,
when he's
like,
leaving,
I don't buy
his
that.
back is like completely covered.
Yeah.
It's like
Also,
he's
I
the most
don't
suspicious looking
buy
guy
that he was
ever.
able to get out the swipe card. Right? Didn't he have to use the swipe card? And the second time he gets
Yeah.
in there, and he used the first one.
Yeah, that one was a little.
True.
So I part of so I was thinking the same thing. It was just with especially with like the ladies
and
that were
speaking
like
of the
having
crew, of the crew.
and I was thinking that while I was watching it, and then in though when it's revealed that he's in wherever he is,
Angling.
it shows of that like all the people that he interacted with in the facility. So it shows the women
Yeah.
ordered the food. It shows the guy like the employee that was burning or like throwing all the cash in the whatever. So I thought, well, maybe he had some extra help that we didn't see. I don't know.
You
maybe
mean
I
you mean
didn't-
in the bar in America or the bar in England?
Bar in England.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but implies that they were in on it and they're with him there
for
initially.
sure. I missed some of those guys.
So one of the
ladies.
one of the things is Nick at one point when they're talking about like the crew, and they're going over like, oh, here are these 4 unsolved men, and it was them. It's like they always had to have a man on the inside, and then when they're actually doing the and swapping the money out, there is clearly a guy in the control room that's working with John Halo, and he just disappears off the face of the planet. Like the guy that the bald control room, that's clearly like the camera keeps him. He never got a name, and you never see him again.
I don't remember,
but it's clearly the guy on the inside because he like nods to John Halo.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, no, it was he had to be. Otherwise, why would the camera keep lingering on this random guy?
I think that was because it was trying to build suspense, like he was about to catch them.
No,
That's
that was the
how I
other
read
guy.
it,
That was the
too.
other guy. The guy in the control room, not the security guard who was going in there.
Yeah, forget it. Maybe.
No. There was a guy in the control room, like in the security booth, who was helping them.
I don't know.
There was
Was he the guy who
booth.
went to the lunchroom to get the workers to come back there?
No. Told the guy in the lunchroom to get them back.
Okay, maybe I didn't pick up on it.
I don't think that guy was in on it. I don't think he was.
He was because I'm telling you, he was in on it. I'm telling you, they mentioned like, oh, they have to have it on the inside. When we were watching it, I said, oh, that's their guy on the inside. I said that during the movie.
No,
I'm telling you,
remember that.
they had a guy on the inside.
I thought their guy was the big Hawaiian hair, kind of goofy guy that was like.
No, he wasn't working at the.
No, he wasn't. But I mean, he was the one that was like plugged into their system.
No, I'm telling you, they had a guy working in the security room.
We'll figure that out, and
Googling it.
we'll talk about it the next week.
The other plot hole that I looked up, and it's not a thing, is the Federal Reserve does not delete the cash from database until it's confirmed deleted.
Like
they don't just
they don't confirm that it's destroyed.
they're not making assumptions.
Right, they're
in the
not like
Federal Reserve.
it's deleted now. Go and burn it.
Yeah,
because we've deleted
they're
it.
not- they're not
gonna
assuming
burn it,
Yeah,
and then
they
they'll
watch
delete
it burn,
Right,
and then they delete.
yeah.
and whatever. Some of that stuff needs to.
That's okay.
Like,
Hey,
yeah,
Yeah,
that is what it
that-
is.
the whole the idea of the heist didn't bother me because I was like, I don't know if the Federal Reserve works this way,
Right,
but that isn't. But if you tell me the Federal Reserve in this works this way, I'm fine with that
and I feel
because
that
they outlined like, oh, here's how they do, here's how they do it, and even if that's not how it works in the real world, it made sense. And so, within the world of the movie, if the Federal Reserve handles money that way, that's fine.
Yeah, and in every heist movie, you're gonna have
Sure,
to
you
allow
have,
that
you have to
because
have something.
because these aren't real things. Where otherwise people would watch and be like, oh,
I couldn't find
perfect.
it.
I'll go and do that and rob so and so.
I did find this though. This is an interesting tidbit. Bank security guard in Den of Thieves credited as Michael John. That's his name. Last name Papa. Last name Papa John.
Horrible parents.
Yeah, that's
to
brutal.
just
That was before the incident with Papa
Do
John.
you think that a woman last name John,
Michael Papa John?
married
Okay, real guy.
married a guy named last name Papa? They're like, let's just fuse these
That's
names.
that's a real dude. Is it the guy you're thinking of, Nathaniel?
What if his name was John Papa John?
I don't. Yeah, it might be that guy.
What if his middle name was? That's bad. Give me some more
Michael
time.
Papa John.
Maybe the guy.
Those Papa John. That's his full name.
No, I had a good time with this movie. Some lines that could never fly in like the sequel if they tried to throw them in there. There's one that was, I can't deal with this R word factory, R-E-T-A-R-D.
Oh yeah.
which I don't even like saying. I can't do. It's like
Well,
the first scene in the movie. I was
think,
like, whoa.
I think that just played into Big Nick.
It is Big
being
Nick, of
just-
course,
Just
yeah.
a total dick.
Of course, Big Nick was delivering it.
So, but yeah, overall, first movie, like if you're gonna just watch an action heist movie, it won because it has a big twist at the end that got me. I was totally not aware, totally did not foresee it coming. I thought the action was excellent. The acting from Gerard Butler.
I mean, he was very good at acting like an asshole.
Yeah, although he's not a likable character at
Nope.
all. Donnie was not a great acted character, but the other villains actually were, in my opinion.
Pablo
I thought
Schreiber's good.
Yeah, Pablo
Yeah.
Schreiber did a good job.
that he played a good, and I think there was a dynamic that I thought was going to pay off better, but didn't. Of humanizing these bad dudes and making the good guys seem like rough dudes.
Well, because they made a point that they don't shoot innocent civilians. So he's like,
Right.
There's a Big Nick at some point says they're trained to shoot people in uniforms.
Yeah.
So
And me, I was thinking while watching, I was like, hey, this is actually a decent way to make you feel something for the bad people without trying to build this whole scenario where they're actually the good guys. It was like, no, they're very clearly bad. Just because they're killing cops doesn't mean we won't kill civilians. You're still murdering a bunch of dads with kids.
I think they tried to do that with 50 Cent and his family.
Right,
But like
exactly.
again, it was all the character development for everyone was just so half baked. Like
Yeah,
it was like, Merriman was in prison and now he's out with. I was like, okay, did he go to prison for something he didn't do and now he's got a chip on his shoulder?
Right.
Why is he robbing? Why did he go from military to robbing banks? Completely unclear.
Right. No, and that's where I didn't like the payoff as much, because I thought it was going to be revealed. I don't know. I thought that Nick would just have more of a redemption, and then you would basically get, hey, even though your expectations are going, 50 Cent's a nice guy, Pablo seems like a nice guy. They don't shoot civilians. Well, you kind of forget the fact that this opening scene they were just mowing down. And you're like, these are pretty terrible dudes. Yeah. And so I was like, good job, movie, me. And then you're going to turn Nick into a good guy.
They don't kill innocent civilians. Sure, they killed some civilians during that shootout.
Right.
Like, because the very first thing they do is they pull this massive machine gun and just rip through a line of cars.
It's funny because I thought the same thing, but then they cut away and there's nobody in the cars.
That's true.
I didn't
there's no way everyone got out. Like, they're definitely they tried to avoid it, but there's a 0% chance there were not civilian casualties.
Shot that he lines up with a light machine gun is like through two cars. Yeah. Lines it all up, and then he just starts shooting, and it's a really cool looking shot because it goes right through like cars
through a bunch of cars and kills Baracho.
Who's that?
It was one of Nick's guys, the first guy, the guy that died killed by the machine gun. They kept calling him Baracho.
You ever see 8 Mile?
Spaghetti.
Cheddar
Bomb, dude.
I've never seen him in any other movie ever.
He's in Jarhead as well.
That's right, he is. I saw Jarhead recently.
And apparently, the whole line where they look at him and they're like, and he's like, "No untimely discharges," and they look at him. It's supposed to be a nod to 8 Mile because like his Cheddar Bomb shoots himself accidentally in that movie.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Which is weird.
Cheddar Bob.
But overall, yes, it seems like a very incomplete movie that had.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's sold out for a few things and just said, hey, we're going to care a lot about the action, put a lot of time and energy into it, and it showed. Good. Mm-hmm. And we're going to make this really cool heist that has a really big twist at the end. And I think that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't expect much, and I probably got more than I expected.
Yeah. Again, I liked it.
Yeah.
I would not call it a great movie because, again, the technicals are, but the character work is just so half-baked that I'm like, yeah, if you want to watch a fun heist movie, you can watch a movie, but don't expect to engage with the story that much.
Yeah, I agree.
So, okay, well that leads us to the second movie, Den of Thieves.
Hey, maybe Gerard Butler will redeem himself.
Oh, gosh.
Does he not?
Absolutely not. In fact, I would say every character in this movie is a flat line, it's a straight line. Start at point A and ride it all the way to point B. This had less character development than the first movie.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I completely agree.
Liam,
right.
do you want to give us a
give
rundown?
us a summary.
Oh,
Wait,
God.
I can give. You ready for the summary of
I have here O'Shea Jackson now. That's what I.
He really is.
Okay, let me give you a summary. Let me give you a summary of Den of Thieves 2. Okay, Den of Thieves 2 opens, and it's Donnie and I guess his new. They had a name.
Panthers or something.
Oh yeah, that's why it's called Pantera. Where they're stealing a bunch of diamonds. So they steal a bunch of diamonds, and then they're planning basically the equivalent of the Federal Exchange. They're hitting this depository. So they're planning this heist. Big Nick just shows up London, finds Donnie, and is like, so you're planning this big and then literally they pull off the heist. And that's
he finds the wife of.
Okay.
He finds
this
the
is
wife.
why I disagree with you.
Hold on. He finds
yeah.
the wife of John Halo from the first movie.
Yeah.
The prostitute lady that he had sex with. She reveals that she has a sex tape of him. And then she tells him what they to do, what the next step was. And I think that's
how he ends up finding Donnie. And then he finds Donnie and somehow got fired from his job, which I didn't understand because I thought he he was a terrible person, but he didn't do anything like procedure-wise. I don't think he did anything wrong in the end of that movie.
Did
Of the
it
last
say he
movie.
got fired because of the end
I
of the
didn't say
movie?
it. Just said he got fired.
I mean, he probably just imploded.
I mean, they don't tell us that. They don't tell us anything. They just said, and he got fired. And so now he joins Donnie's crew. Well, he first thing he does is he goes to the
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
French.
the French police, and that's how he basically and he hooks up with Donnie and says, I'm in on this crew. And so he joins the Pantera crew. Some stuff happens. They end up pulling off the diamond heist. But somewhere along the way, you find out that during the opening diamond heist, not the one they're planning in this movie, but the opening diamond heist, Donnie stole a diamond that he shouldn't have because it belonged to the Sicilian mob or something. Some guy. And so they're like, there's this threat of the Sicilian mob showing up at any time. And there are these, were they Turkish guys or Serbian guys?
The octopus
Brothers?
henchmen?
No. The brothers that he was dancing with when he gets in a fight with, because they're the ones who are
yeah.
shooting at them at the end of the movie.
That's right. I don't know.
So there are two people on Team Panther that don't like Nick, and end up getting in a fight with Nick. And then after the heist, as they're driving, successfully pull off the diamond heist, they're driving away, and those two guys come back and start shooting, and they're about to kill them, and then the Sicilian mob blows them up, and is like, diamond, please. And so they give him the diamond, and then Gerard Butler, he's actually been working for the police the whole time, and the whole Panther gang goes to jail. And then the plot twist, I guess, is that Gerard Butler helps the Sicilians break Donnie out of jail because the octopus wants to hire Donnie. And that's the sequel hook for the next movie. But like, so this was my problem with the movie. Stuff happened, but nobody changed. The only thing I can say about the movie is that stuff.
That's probably true. I think I'd agree.
And I didn't think it was as interesting as the first one. The first one was literally just a heist happens, and it's way too long. If it was like an hour and a half, come down as hard on it. But it was 2 minutes for just a heist.
The first one, though.
Yes, but that again, the first one had the guys. You got to see both sides.
The
of what
first
was
one
going
was,
on.
and the first one was much more exciting.
Yeah.
Like there just was no excitement.
Yeah, this
I loved the heist scene in the second one.
Really? I thought it was like
loved it. I was actually like glued to my TV.
Which part of the
big heist?
But okay, so the big part of that one was that they walked through when the camera.
Yeah.
Other than that, what happened?
I mean, I thought it was really
Also,
well done. I loved the heist scene in the second one.
See,
also,
I just felt like there were so many dynamics of the first
I
one.
thought it was intense. I thought
the
they built
second one
tension
was
up well.
like,
A
hey,
little
we're
bit.
just gonna walk through the cameras.
Tension up really well. I was enamored by the second one.
So I had big problems with the second one for a lot of reasons. It started off I'm sorry, he's just chubby. Like he's just chubby. He doesn't have accent like works.
accents are
Like
terrible.
he has his normal dude. The scene, oh my gosh, the scene where they all get on like their giant table. It's him and all the other bad people, and they all
looks
just
so out
start.
of place.
He's like, hey, how about go fuck yourself? And he's like, oh, how about you fuck yourself? And she just like breaks her whatever accent she has or is pretending. She goes from like this I don't even know what you would call her accent. It's not French. It's like this Armenian, I don't know, accent. And then she just goes, how about you go fuck yourself? And then she just goes right back
why
to
it's
talking in
unclear
this weird
because we have
accent.
no idea who she is or where she's from.
Yeah, I don't know.
Once again, the only reason I know the other guys were, and again, I can't remember what country they're like, Asian or Serbian, is because he says, the Serbian brothers or something like that.
Unknown.
Like Eastern European
doesn't
brothers.
matter.
But all of them, as
Good
soon as they're entered, I just instantly am like, okay, this is just awful acting. You go from Pablo and playing whatever John Halo from the first one. I thought him and looked the part. Like they seemed like dudes that could see. This one was like a bunch of people cracking jokes half the time. Do you know that was the second big part to me? I was like,
yeah, there was a lot of quotes,
this
comedy in
the
this
second,
one, which
the
I
second
wasn't-
movie
really didn't hit a lot.
The second movie, it's like I tried to be the Fast and Furious
or Ocean's 11.
where it was just constantly all of a sudden he's dropping Donnie and Big Nick out in the water and he's like, you am I supposed to swim? And he's like, maybe swim this way. And he's like, oh man, I'm gonna be so tired.
Oh jeez, man.
It's like it was so stupid at that point. I'm like, nothing matters. It's all silly. you've turned this into, oh, we have a franchise that people want to pay attention to. Let's just start telling jokes and being really funny. And
unlike the first one, I really didn't get the sense that there were actually any stakes. Like there were stakes, but I never felt stakes in this movie.
Yeah. Sorry for the random from the computer. Yeah. On top of that, I felt like Nick is terrible in the first one, right? He's just a bad dude in the first one, but I don't think. I don't know. I think they try to make it seem like he's doing a decent job. He's, or he's roughing up Donnie when he gets him. It seems like he's kind of right on like to their schemes, and then at the end he catches him. This one, he's just the butt of every joke. He's a fish out of water.
Who, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he catches him. Like he
I feel like he also implies that he likes Donnie now, and he was on the fence about whether he was going to actually join them or turn them over to the cops. And I was like, really?
Well,
why was he on the fence about that?
Yeah, well then
he should hate Donnie.
At the end, he whatever he gets him free. I don't. It felt so directionless, and
I think that's a good word for it. It was. It felt like the first movie was a huge focus on the technicals, and they tried to have a story, and they just didn't have or the skill to flesh that out.
Right.
And the second one, it feels like they started with, hey, what if we and worked on the heist stuff. Are we supposed to have characters in this movie? Oh, whoops. ChatGPT, make me some characters.
It did seem like I can't even remember any of the in between and what the dialogue was and what the purposes of the scenes were.
They tripped out
in the first movie, Big Nick is.
What was the point of that?
Big Nick was a character, right? Like he was a half-baked character. In this movie, Big Nick has no character growth at all. Like the only thing you can maybe say is, oh, he was on the fence about joining Donnie or like actually becoming a criminal or doing what he was supposed to do and turning him over to the cops. But that's like one line. You don't feel ever in the entire movie.
I disliked
and the other group is the group of criminals are just like cool with us, except the guys who ended up shooting at them in the end. Yeah. But that was for different reasons.
I disliked it more when I thought that actually going the direction of him of it being like a buddy cop scenario. But
it was
when
that.
it came. This obviously he lets
Donnie go.
Yeah, but he got the other bad actors.
Great.
So I liked that way better than the direction.
I shot 6 people, but I was able to save 5 of them.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I thought that direction was way better. I thought the payoff actually.
Yeah, no, I did. I was like, okay, that makes more. Like, I have no idea why Nick is just suddenly a criminal, and I was like, he has to be playing them somehow, and I was just waiting for them to see it. And it's like, oh, okay, he was legitimate the cops the whole time.
I do think the problem, not the problem, a problem, one of the bigger problems, is that he let the end.
Yeah,
because me, I just don't like. I don't like I don't like Fast and Furious is Fast and Furious, but like if I'm actually gonna be critiquing, I think those are the dumbest movies where it's like, hey, these criminals, they're not that bad. They're just stealing DVD cars, and this guy's like, oh,
family.
Donnie's not that bad. You hired these dudes that just murdered a bunch of people. Like, you are responsible. Hollywood thinks you're cool and you're a fun character. That's fine. Be a cool and fun villain and capture him. But the movie's like, well, he can't be in jail and be a bad guy now. So let's say that he lets him out and he keeps being this humble criminal. No, he's not.
It would have been much better if Donnie had just, like, the Sicilian mob had just broken Donnie out. And
That's
then Gerard Butler's
probably
like,
true, yeah.
Then Gerard Butler hears about this, is like, all right, the game's back on.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with that.
Because I'm not
Because then it kind of muddies the waters a bit.
Exactly. Especially Big Nick's character, because you get the impression he doesn't like criminals.
Yeah.
Like, of all the things, he liked doing his job.
Yeah.
Part of what he does, it's that he does capture bad guys.
Yeah, and he seems like good at his job.
Yeah. Very good at that. The second one was just so silly because also, how did it work that they were like, hey, good work. We knew you were inside the whole time. Because all the things they said at the beginning made sense, where they're like, hey, like, this isn't your dude. Okay, not my guy. And then he just went off on his own.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so you just didn't tell us the scene where he was like, hey, I'm just going to go inside.
Oh, by the way, that was my guy. Get ready to arrest them here at this time.
And like, it would have, if you just, again, this movie insists, both of them, on like showing you the full explanation rather than just have Nick explain that to Donnie, and that would convince me as a viewer. I'd be like, oh man, yeah, like he's kind of an asshole, so it makes sense that he's coming over. But when you show the whole scene of the other cops being like, hey, are you gonna be like for this one? And he's like, nope, I'm not gonna be with you here on this one, and continues on and finds Donnie. And it's like, actually, I was in with him the whole time. I was like, the movie didn't really give me a chance
because Donnie's not there, so you're not lying to Donnie,
right?
Or any just lying to the audience, which is stupid.
Yeah,
and for like mysteries, I think that's the reason I despise Glass Onion. I think that's an absolute just
unreliable narrator.
No, that's an absolute go to the ninth circle of hell for this. Yeah. Not unreliable narrator. That's different. That is different. Unreliable narrator, like Fight Club,
right,
is different from what Glass Onion does, where it is the director lying about what's happening.
Right.
That's different. And this is a little bit of, although more like it just leaves out stuff that happens off, like all these just happens off screen. And so you have no idea that that's happening until the very end of the movie.
Well, I think it's a good point that imagine that scene where he goes into the French whatever, and he's like, yeah, that's not my guy. Who is he trying to lie to there other than the audience?
I think he's like he is conflicted about whether he actually wants to go through.
I thought the reason he said that wasn't my guy was then go to Donnie and not get him arrested.
Yeah.
But that he could join the gang. But again, his actions are just so muddy.
Or maybe he just
we're speculating. All we can do is speculate because the movie hints as to what's actually going on, other than the one line at the very end where he meets Donnie in the prison and says, it was hard for me to decide whether to actually stay with you or to do my job, which again comes out of nowhere.
Speculation would be giving Nick a little
exactly, and that's why it's a tendency we end up like filling the gaps, and it's like when you see a word that's scrambled but the letters are correct, your brain will automatically unscramble it. Not great. His brain does the opposite; it automatically scrambles it.
My brain is constantly working against me at all times to scramble.
But you can read words that are like slightly out of order because your brain automatically your brain has to fill in gaps all the time, and I think that leads to forgive a lot of movie sins, writing sins, when really you say no. If this was the case, it needed to be hinted at or alluded to, and again, there can be subtle things. I'm not saying do exposition dump, right? I think that's bad. It's like is a person just gives you all the information. The other end is you give no information and you have these things happen, and it's like you didn't actually build up. That's why I think Presence was actually Presence did a good job of finding that middle ground, of giving you information and building up the characters, but having it was like overhearing actual conversations you might hear. So it is hard to do, but hey, guess what? You're getting paid for this.
Right.
Do a good job.
I think it is another good example of, now that I'm thinking about like lying to the audiences, the scene outside the church where he runs into the French officer and they're like smoking a cigarette, talking about being divorced and stuff. He's like, be careful who you're hanging around. It's like, why would he ever say that if they were actually in cahoots together?
Right.
You could maybe switch that line to make it like ambiguous as to be like, maybe they're working together. But that him saying that is like, okay, well,
why would he know that he's hanging out with Donnie?
Right.
Yeah, I just felt like the second one was trying to shift where the franchise was going, like where the Den of Thieves franchise went from being a pretty gritty, heavy action. Okay, the story might. Hey, if you want to watch an action movie, this will probably satisfy. Like, there's probably going to be some cool moments in it, cool twists. There's going to be really cool action. There might be a fun heist, a cool like brain idea. And this one was like, let's just make it kind of like dumb Fast and Furious friendship between Donnie and it's just Donnie and Nick are now the sole purpose of this movie. We don't really care what they're doing. Let's just put them in a bunch of rooms and scenes together, bickering.
Let's see how many different bad accents they can do.
What if Donnie? What if Donnie was a better actor? Would you like the second movie
What if he
more?
did?
I mean, I'm sure I
push-ups a
would
day?
like it. Okay, a better movie? Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A little thought
I think it could make it a little bit better.
Good acting can cover writing, but at the end of the day, it can cover for a bad plot.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, again, you're had about poorly written lines and whatever. But I do even if it's marginal, it does get a little bit better.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
definitely.
No, experience. Back and you're like, well, basically non-existent.
Do you guys remember this? We were just talking about you get dumped into the ocean. And
Yeah.
So there was something so poorly edited that I thought Amazon screwed up. Scene was missed. It went exactly from there, which Nick was basically like, I'm done, right? F this, I'm done. The next scene, so like 15 seconds later, Donnie is calling Nick, and they're like,
Yeah, no,
all, like flirting with each other.
What does he say? You have an
that
itch?
was-
He's like, do you have the itch or something?
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like- He's like, yeah.
You're not
genuinely
wrong.
thought I missed
that was
a scene.
literally the next scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get dumped. So they get caught by the, and the Sicilian mob says, "We know you're this you get our diamond back,
Yeah.
or we're gonna kill you." And so like for Donnie and I don't know why they were threatening Nick, because it was literally just Donnie. But like, if you don't give us this particular diamond back, which they never explained why they care about the diamond, but if you don't give us this back, which was in the diamond exchange, so like coincidentally, it happened to be in the place. Make sure they got that. It was a side quest for them.
Mhm.
And then they throw them into the ocean, and Donnie's freaking out, and Nick's like, just swim to shore. And so they just swim to shore, and Nick's like pissed off and is like, yeah, this is too much. I quit. I'm out. And then the very next day, Donnie calls Nick in his hotel room and is like, you having a latte? You enjoy yourself? You know you went back in. And Nick's like, the hell, what?
Yeah. Crazy to me.
Like whiplash.
Yeah, and I just don't buy how quickly, like, if we're gonna try to believe that Don really, like, at the end of the first one, I was at the very least left with, oh shoot, I like kind of time, and now I'm convinced that he's a mastermind. So in the second one, I'm expecting to see some of his masterminding, and I'm like, okay, so this guy is like, hey, the cop that caught him, he's like, I've had a change of heart, I want to join, and he's just like, okay.
Sounds good.
It was like,
yeah.
I'm
That
like,
works.
well, now he does look like a moron.
It was more the other crew members that were actually figuring out the logistics of the heist too.
Yeah, I feel like Donnie didn't do much.
He's
in that one.
like the overseer.
I really,
Yeah,
I really
job.
do think that he actually plays more of the downfall of this movie than I give it credit for. Now that I'm thinking about it now, the whole Idris Elba comparison, I really do. So the thing is, the first movie worked well in terms that we're talking about. It worked because the bad guys seemed menacing, like they knew what they were doing. They were very strategic and put together. That's also because we didn't find Donnie was the one running things till the end. It worked thinking
was a good payoff.
thinking that running things. That just made sense. Whereas this one, you know that Donnie's running things, and it just doesn't make sense. You're just watching. You're like, these people they're goofing off half the time. Donnie just can't put
Take an
accent, and
entire.
he doesn't look suave.
They
and
take
like,
an entire like scene out to be like, if you were a cop, you wouldn't do these drugs. Then drugs, but then they all take the drugs. I'm like,
and then they all. And,
even if he did, how would you know he took the drugs if you're all just as high as he is? Hello.
and the whole
good point.
build up between him and that girl, which just didn't go anywhere. He was just like, "Hey, man, pretty girls don't get frisked," and then he's like, "Well, yeah, and neither do guys that are good at their job." And yeah, okay, and then they walk off, and I'm like, "Man, chemistry."
That girl could pretty much not be in the movie.
That
Yeah.
girl
Did
Nothing,
nothing.
really
In
nothing
fact,
would
again,
change.
it honestly could have just been Gerard and Ice Cube Jr.
Yeah.
And they still could have pulled off. I don't think. Was there any point in the heist where they needed more than two people? I don't think there was.
during the actual heist. They needed all the other assets,
Right,
Of
right,
like
right,
cutting off
Of, like, planning
security,
things. Yeah,
all
but-
that stuff.
I feel like
Did it only just slow them down?
Yeah.
Also, the other funny part about the heist was when they were like sliding across the roofs at the end, like getting away, and they like O'Shea Jackson's turn. It's clearly someone skinnier than he is, like half.
that's there's
boy.
some movie called Black Dynamite, and there's a bunch of car chases in it. Except for every time a car flies off a cliff, it cuts the exact same shot of this red the red top down Corvette flying off a cliff. None of the cars in
That's
the movie are red
hilarious.
Corvettes.
It's
So it's like
actually
there's like two like these sedans chasing it then you see skirt, and then it's just the red car going.
Is that intentional?
Yes.
That's
So funny. That movie is hysterical.
So what were some good
man.
things about the second movie? If we can pick out some good things.
I love the heist.
I thought
Personally,
the
the heist scene.
heist itself, I didn't think was bad.
Yeah, I
like the
liked it a
heist
lot.
scene, I thought it was well executed. I thought there was some tension. You know, I thought it was a little silly how they were just like throwing all the shit on the ground. I'm like, I thought you were taking this. I'm so confused why they were just like pulling. I know that Nick and Donnie are looking for a specific gem, but the other guys are just like, we're just. I didn't understand why they weren't just like dumping it into bags.
Right. Because they're
So,
bozos, but
I like. But other than the heist, everything else was just kind of terrible.
yeah, I think the reason I liked the heist in the second one so much is because I think I'm a bigger fan of like slow building tension as opposed to like shootout.
Yeah,
I get
it's
really
fair.
bored very quickly at like shootouts or like car chase. Care about it.
That's fair, and I feel like a lot of that
appreciate the
is car chases and shootouts can be very hard to keep track of what's going on if they're not well shot.
Yeah, even like fight scenes.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
Yeah.
Like I generally don't.
That's why
like
John
fight
Wick is great because you understand what's going on, and because it's well choreographed and well framed.
You're right.
and you understand. That's one of the reasons I think Jack Chan movies are all great. Is not just because he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But because you always understand because they do longer cuts, so you always understand what's going on.
Yeah. How many movies do fight scenes where it's like
All
just
Marvel movies literally like
it's like cuts.
it's a 2-minute fight scene and there's cut. Yeah, it's terrible.
Hey, I don't know what's going
It's
on.
because they can't be bothered to either hire stunt actors or train their actors to learn how to fight.
Yeah.
Because they're actors these days are squishy.
It's a good point.
Sorry.
John Wick rules. Yeah. So John Wick does
is
that really
pretty-
well. That
pretty
makes
fast,
sense.
Yeah.
This is why Tom Cruise is actually like awesome now.
Yeah.
Because I think initially I was like, it's just Tom Cruise. Like he plays in some girly movies. Like not really a big fan. But now that he's getting older, I want to do every stunt ever. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'm
He
not gonna
rules,
lie.
bro. He's the
Yeah.
best movie star of our lifetime.
Of our generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. The just possible, and the fact that they're all good, and then 2 is just one of the worst movies ever. It's still fun to watch, but it's so
It's absolute dog
abysmal.
water.
You're like, how is this in this? How did you get a third movie, and how does a third movie excellent, and then all the other all like what happened? Something happened. And Tom
different
Cruise was like, yeah. The second one's John Woo, and it's just terrible. It's just
Yeah.
that was I think that was one of the first movies where we were watching and we had to stop and laughing so hard.
We did it
and
several
we
times.
couldn't believe what we were seeing.
Who's the second one? It wasn't.
who
It
was
wasn't Hoffman, right?
No,
He
no,
was
that's the third one.
Third one. Yeah.
Who it was? I know there's a scene at the end with him
Oh,
and the
they
villain
do a
who
motorcycle
ride
jet.
motorcycles at each
They
other.
fly off the cliff at each other and they just like each other. And it has one of the best stock slap sound effects
Yeah.
in any movie ever.
It
Oh
is
my goodness. Like,
bonkers. It's like she slaps him in a car, and it sounds like a clown getting slapped. It's like, whoosh.
yeah, it sounds like one of those like it sounds like you take one of those sticky hands and just like slap it against or like a steak and just like slap it against a hard surface just like whoosh.
It's so funny. Yeah. It's
It's a horrendous
ratings,
movie.
too.
Yeah, no, it's a terrible movie, and all the other ones are good.
yeah,
It's just so
really,
wild.
really, all the other ones are great for different reasons. 3 is like phenomenal.
Yeah, 3 was really, really
3 was very, very good. Solid as well. But
Haven't seen Dead
2
Reckoning
is, Yeah, we do need to watch Dead
Dead Reckoning Part 1?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
It's
and
amazing.
and then
So
the Final
good.
Reckoning is coming.
Yeah, Dead Reckoning's awesome.
Oh crap!
I like George.
Again, I
don't love his
I don't
character,
think
but I
I don't
think-
think his acting was bad.
Charm.
Certainly
Like, he's got a
compared
charm to him that I'm like,
yeah, certainly compared to. I thought he was more charming in this movie, even though his character
Yeah.
made no sense.
I just love him for whatever reason, even though he was an asshole.
Why did he call Donnie Fraulein?
I think just because he's a dick,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah.
Just didn't.
Dig too much deeper in that one. He's just an asshole.
they just stuck on that. Though.
The dialogue in the first one was so hypersexual. I could remember some of the specific lines, but like it was like
yeah, it was-
every other line.
Oh
was
yeah,
like
yeah,
a dick joke or something.
yeah.
Yeah, it really try to establish him as this like gritty detective guy, but I'm like, you to make those guys a little more redeemable for me to want to like root
yeah,
for them and watch
absolutely,
them a whole
absolutely.
lot. And
Oh.
he was just awful.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think they fixed his character in this one. They just kind of sanded it. They
Yeah.
kind of smoothed the rough edges
No,
down.
It it
but they
just
didn't actually build on it
just
anyways.
denied the like. I'm like, dude, what about his kids?
Yeah,
Like, there
his
was
kids and his wife.
there was a kernel of redemptive value
something
in him.
said in Den of Thieves 2 that he's in divorce court, and I remember that scene.
There was zero mention of his children in the second
Yeah, like
movie, right?
nothing from the first movie is mentioned.
Yeah.
Nothing, not a single thing, other than like Donnie. He
makes
meets
me
up
even-
with the hooker and is like, "Where's Donnie? Where's the trigger?"
It makes me even more mad that he was considering the life of villainy because I'm like, you've got kids, you can obviously your wife took them away. You can still like I'm sure you can see them
Right,
legally. Like I'm
right.
sure you can go and see them. So be that role.
Yeah.
It's your fault,
It says according to the AI, Nick O'Brien is shown to be divorced and has lost custody of his children. When did that happen? Did I miss a scene?
I think there might have been a throwaway line where somebody says something about you lost the kids.
Oh, it is in the movie.
That
It says
checks
the
out.
movie opens with Nick attending family. It opened with the diamond heist.
Oh, okay. So it does open with him crumpling up a piece of paper and throwing out in a bathroom. But I thought that was him getting fired. I didn't think it was divorce court. Maybe I missed the small connotation of that being like papers that he just lost the kids in divorce.
I don't remember the.
But the
scene.
opening scene is him in a bathroom, frustrated and throwing out.
I
He's
don't
in, like,
remember
public,
that.
public
All I
bathroom.
remember
You're right,
is
and
the-
he runs into the other like sleazeball,
Yeah.
Whatever cop guy.
Right. And he throws out the paper and he makes a comment, walks off like his life is falling apart.
feel like
thought that was
yeah.
because he got fired,
Makes
though.
sense.
I thought that was him getting.
I don't remember that
getting
scene at all.
fired.
I don't really remember it either.
And they mentioned that. Maybe I'd be less confused if I knew.
I swear,
those.
I thought the movie opened with the first diamond heist.
Either way, it doesn't. The movie did not do a job at explaining
Yeah.
what was going on.
This is really is it really worthy of a third movie?
Absolutely,
I really
not.
hope not.
Absolutely,
It's
not.
it's going to.
Oh yeah, they set up a sequel hook. Well, I mean, this one has to make money. Let's see. Let's see how it's doing.
how much money, man.
Let's
This
see how it's doing.
this is gonna dissolve into the next Fast and Furious franchise, even though that one's not done. Fast and Furious, man, what a
I will say, for all of its shortcomings, Den of Thieves 2 movie number 125 movie right now for me. It's also the only one I've seen.
What is it? Was it going against?
Nothing else. It's the only movie I've seen for 2025. But it does hold the spot right now.
The budget was only $40 million, and they've made $56.1 million. So
Pretty good look. It's pretty good looking
yeah,
for
it looks,
40 million.
Yeah, for 40 million, it looks decent. Like I have no complaints about the visuals.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
really.
I mean,
Yeah, no,
In either movie.
I thought like the whole setup of like the whatever the what's it called, the diamond, what was the place called that actually they robbed?
Oh, okay. So it's between. So I was right. It does open the diamond heist from the airport,
That's what I thought. Yeah.
and then okay, it's right before he interrogates the stripper.
Okay.
So I just missed that transition. So it was a short scene. My
Mhm.
brain just deleted it.
Same. And we didn't know what it meant. But
I mean,
I was right. It is the Sicilian mafia. I was just like, those guys look Sicilian.
the octopus.
The octopus look
inconceivable.
inconceivable.
Yeah, the third movie's gonna have the octopus.
Woof. Overall thoughts on the third movie?
Second movie?
Arrest the
Second
crew, and
movie.
their other leader was Slobodan. I thought that we were joking around calling him Slobodan because there was like a dictator named Slobodan in like Turkey, I think.
I believe you. I'm gonna be honest. I felt very similarly, if not exactly similarly, about both movies.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought the first one was well.
Okay, I was entertained by both of them. I thought they were messes at times. I thought they were far from a great movie. You could even argue they were a objectively not good movie, but I had a lot of fun watching them.
Yeah,
That's my stance on both. I kind of could say the same about both.
I felt like the first one had.
Okay, so here's according to Wikipedia, this is the very end of the movie. Donnie asks the octopus what the next job is. Meanwhile, Nick receives a text message from Donnie that reads, "And the tiger changes stripes, all the cats out of the cage line," implying that the rest of the Panthers have also been sprung from confinement. Nick smiles as he drives along the coastline. So
No
that's all out.
way.
Come on, man.
That sucks.
That makes it worse. That's garbage.
I'm gonna not believe that.
Yeah,
'cause
we'll
that would
see.
be
We'll see.
so
But
ridiculous.
What is
that's
the
doo-doo.
what is the point of him throwing them all in them all out? What a
correct.
dumb.
The real journey, the real heist was the friends we made along the way.
Oh
He
my.
realized,
Clearly.
he realized how close he got to
He
all of
felt
them.
bad about betraying his friend.
I bet you it's going to be married to that woman.
Oh my
Or they're gonna
gosh.
pick up.
Nick
Yeah.
is.
And then he's gonna have and cheat
Yeah.
on her.
Yeah. Titan can't change.
There's nowhere for this franchise to go. Like,
I really hope they don't. I'm not gonna
They're
watch
running on
any of it
Hollywood,
anymore.
running on fumes if they're making
Yeah.
3 Den of Thieves.
you hear about the first one until I saw the second
Me
one in
either.
theaters, and I was like,
I know.
that sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I thought
And
that,
it wasn't.
I thought that the first one had way more kernels of goodness in it.
Yeah,
I thought
I
that
agree.
the action was far better in the first. I'll take the ending sequence.
I thought
That
the heist
one-
was better in the
yeah,
first one.
Well, yeah, I would take everything about the first one over the second one, but I actually thought that they did things objectively well. I thought that the twist was a good setup and it was very well done. I thought that all the characters played their characters well. Even Donnie played because he was kind of supposed to be silly
A
and
schlubby
loopy, and,
guy.
yeah, and like he felt that way. You look like you should be wearing like a basketball jersey the whole movie and be serving drinks at a bar. And I was like, man, you pulled that off. You tricked me. The second one, he's like walking around using a fake accent. Nope, you still look like you should be wearing a
Yeah.
basketball jersey and slinging drinks.
Yeah.
And so I thought the first one just fit itself much better, and I just felt like the second one it leaned into all the things that the first one did badly. It's like, let's lean into the characters of Donnie. And I'm like, no, those are the bad parts of the first movie. Don't do that. Don't do that. And it was like, yeah, look at them together.
Literally
look at them
just have like
making
cardboard
jokes.
cut out heist. Get the same effect.
Yeah. Second one, that thumbs down for me.
Yeah, sometimes not for me.
All right, so let's get it on things
All right,
here,
don't
fellas.
start with Joker 2. Start like
All
in the
right,
middle.
Joker 2.
Stop. No, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Okay, so we're gonna go with the first. The
First.
first.
First Den of
First
Thieves,
Den
I
of
put pretty
Thieves.
high.
So I'm gonna
I
say
enjoyed it.
middle. Okay, and I will say middle. Most of these are bad. We've watched a lot of stinkers. The top is very small. So I'll still start in the middle. We got Heretic or Den of Thieves. 1.
Don't just tell us the movies and which one we got. You don't have to remind us which one.
Okay,
we're comparing.
I would say-
Heretic.
Den of Thieves.
Den of Thieves.
The Apes.
Den of Thieves.
Sorry,
Den-
the Watcher.
Witcher.
The Watcher.
I was like, wait a minute, that's a good game.
Den of Thieves.
Den of Thieves.
Reagan. Sorry, that's not. We'll skip those. Okay, Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
It depends on that one.
Den of Thieves
Probably Den of Thieves would be like the easier watch for me
falls just above.
because Nosferatu is like
Just as far as what I want to watch,
Yeah.
like I don't think I
Yeah.
want to watch a 3-hour like with Dracula's wiener and then a
That's
bunch
true.
of dark thing. Like I just don't want to see that again. Like I've seen it once and it was
Dracula
that was
Dong
fine.
is
It,
not for
it,
me.
it did its thing.
why? How come all the movies you like? I
I
gotta
could-
see some dude's dick.
I could turn my brain off
Explain
and watch
yourself.
this
I don't
action
know.
movie
I'd
with
like
my
to
dad.
unpack that some, but not today.
I'm gonna put mine just above Nosferatu and below. Okay, we got Slingshot.
Put it above Den of Thieves.
I would put a sling.
Again, it's movies, but it depends on if I'm in the mood for action or sci-fi.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it just below in
Four.
the top camp. So the top camp is
It's not like
the
I'm-
Wild Robot, A
No,
Place
definitely
Beyond the
no,
Pines,
no,
and
no, no, no.
Gladiator.
I would put Den
not-
of Thieves above Wild Robot.
Yeah, but you're a cretin, so like, you
Don't,
tell
don't
me.
speak for me, Greg. Wild Robot.
I'm gonna speak for you. You're trash. Wild
No,
Robot was
I like
excellent,
Wild, yeah, it was excellent, and I didn't like it.
but this one wasn't excellent. Yeah, that's just because you're a cretin.
It was excellent. I didn't
And
like
there were
it.
no
Den of
dicks
Thieves,
in it, so,
Den of
like,
Thieves
clearly I
was
can't score it
bad,
that high.
and I liked it.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to
That's
roll
like the
through
Matrix.
it.
We
Den
talked
of
about the
Thieves
Matrix at some point,
2.
I'm sure.
Den of Thieves 2. We have We Live in Time.
I would literally put Den of Thieves 2 exactly where I put Den of Thieves.
I would put it below Den of Thieves.
Man, so you got it pretty high there, Liam.
I would put We Live in Time over that, though. I don't know. If
I'd rather
that
watch
was
We Live in
established.
Time than Den of Thieves 2.
Okay, The Brutalist or Den of Thieves 2.
Den of Thieves 2, I'll get out sooner.
Whoa, that's an interesting
One
Thieves
wasn't like
2.
Gladiator level.
Yeah, it
good.
wasn't shitting on
Yeah.
one of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I've
above
got-
Gladiator 2, but like that same vibe.
So that,
Useless
at least
movie.
for my own rankings, that puts Den of Thieves 1 at a 6.7 and Den of Thieves 2 at a 4.1. That checks out for me.
I would rank both of them 6.3.
Okay.
I'd give the first one like a 6, 6.5, and the second one I would give a 3. It's just a nothing movie.
Yeah. Well, for those watching at home, I think that kind of tells you enough. Go watch.
Like
go
I said,
watch the
I
first
knew.
one.
I was like, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a shorter one because like there's just not much to say about the second one. Even the first one, there's not that much to say. They're not the deepest movies.
Yeah,
They're not complex
say,
movies.
Intentionally, almost.
Which is
so,
fine. Which is
yeah.
fine.
They're just
They
trying
don't
to be
all have to
action
be
movies.
the brutalist.
Right.
Thank God.
It'd be a tough landscape.
Go watch the first one. It won't be a bad watch. You'll be entertained. It's a very fun movie. The action sequence at the end and the twist, really great. I think it might have been
It's
Max.
streaming somewhere.
So.
Oh yeah,
it was Max. It was.
Yeah,
Max.
you're right. It's streaming somewhere.
So go do that and then save yourself. Maybe don't watch the second one. Although if you want to turn your brain off for action
throw
movies,
it on.
All right, so I'm just gonna throw some movies at you that are in theaters right now.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say we got to pick our next.
So
ones.
obviously there's a new Captain America, which I have like very little desire to see. Paddington in Peru.
Woof.
There apparently Patrick Swayze's Ghost is back in theaters. That garbage-looking horror movie Heart Eyes.
I heard that's one of the worst movies.
Love Hurts, which I've heard is
I
terrible.
also heard that was horrible.
Dogman, which I'm like, that is the best-looking thing out of all of this. I'm not saying it looks great, but yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Becoming Led Zeppelin.
No.
Something called Companion. That 50 Shades of Grey Baby Girl, which
gosh.
Naomi didn't like, so you know it's bad.
Oh my goodness.
That's that. I thought that already released.
Mufasa.
Baby Girl.
Yeah.
No.
Flight Risk.
No.
Risk.
Challengers.
Challengers. Is that's the one. That's the
Moana
one.
2.
Wait, Challengers is the Angel Studio one, right?
Let's see.
That's not the.
It's the tennis one.
Oh, never
What?
mind.
Oh, that's back in theaters.
Boo.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's Zendaya.
actually a pretty good movie.
Gonna be a no for me, dog.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Moana 2. Armand.
I guess we got to watch the first two Sonics.
Wicked. If you want to watch Conclave and watch a transgender priest be named bishop or a pope.
Gosh.
That's why,
The
that's why I've
Substance.
held off on that one. Substance is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Nickel Boys. Dune Part.
I heard Nickel Boys is really good.
There's guys. There's just like nothing in theaters right now.
So here's the next big one, and I don't know what this looks like for our schedule, but the next one that is going to be really interesting to watch is Mickey 17.
I see that.
I've heard.
Boon Jong Ho, Parasite director.
Parasite guy.
Robert Pattinson's the lead. The trailer looks really unique.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one where he's like a cloning
He
himself
dies, like, he
constantly.
keeps
yeah,
dying, yeah.
and he just.
Oh
keeps
yeah,
dying.
that one
Yeah.
did look interesting.
I'm very intrigued by it because I think is it Bong Joon Ho?
Yeah.
Bong
someone.
Joon
Bong Joon Ho.
Bong Joon Ho
the
is
new Jurassic
an awesome
World.
director. So that's the next one, and that releases March 7th though. But
Yeah.
that's like the next really interesting.
Guys, Rihanna is Smurfette in the Smurfs.
I heard that she's doing the soundtrack.
We can't do this to ourselves, guys. We told people.
Do you
that
guys
we
want to watch
would
the? Do you guys
movies
want to
in
watch
theaters
the Daisy Ridley Die Hard cleaner?
What?
Daisy Ridley?
It's Daisy
Die
Ridley,
Hard?
but it's Die Hard. But it's called Cleaner. It's literally Die Hard,
What?
Sounds horrible.
except Daisy Ridley's Bruce Willis.
That's horrible.
Yeah, no kidding. But guys, there's like nothing good in theaters right now.
The next good one that we're releasing is Mickey 17.
Yeah, so maybe we're gonna have to do two
At home.
at home because
then-
there's like legitimately, unless we want to do something international, which I want to, but I know Greg struggles with subtitles.
I think we should still do recent movies though.
Like
I
what?
think-
What?
Is there one
I
that
have
we've
no idea.
missed
I
that
have
we
no
that we
idea.
haven't that came out recently?
I mean, I'm sure there's some Oscar nominees that we can hit up. Like I heard Nickel Boys is good. Heard
I
Nickel Boys
have
is
no
really
interest
good.
in
what's
movie.
Nickel Boys?
I have no idea,
Well,
but
Oscar-
everyone I trust in the movie world likes it.
Best.
well,
so
well,
it's
the
trash.
movie world
All right.
likes.
You guys want to watch Amelia Perez?
Could watch for banter.
I have no idea.
Could watch it
No
for banter.
desire. Complete Unknown, Conclave, Nickel Boys, I'm Still Here, The Substance, Dune Part 2, Wicked, Honora, and The Brutalist. Those are the Best Picture nominees.
Nickel Boys. Let me look at it.
I mean, the next time we do is going to be 4 days before the Oscars. Like the timings kind of could work for that.
I guess, but I just like I couldn't care less about the Oscars. Like
I hear you.
they mean nothing now. It's the fact that Amelia Perez got nominated for as many Oscars as Fellowship of the Ring tells you that it farts and like
Conan O'Brien's hosting though, so that's a good part.
could be good, but I don't know, man. TDS has just affected everyone. People just can't be funny.
No, Conan's
still good.
totally
Okay,
different.
Conan's still good.
Conan
Did you hear
stays
he
out
was
of it.
doing he's done his podcast, right? And he has to do ad reads.
Yeah.
He was doing an ad read for a bidet, and he could not get through it.
No,
It was
that's
so
what I like
funny.
about Conan is that he is not straight into the political like landscape.
Right.
He's a comedian. All right, what are we doing?
I
don't know,
the
man.
big question, man. I figured that there would be more options in theaters.
No.
Chat, what should we watch?
That there
No,
are.
there's
nothing.
Jack K. Diddley out there right now. It's bleak. I mean, it's February. It's not a good month for movies. It's gonna be bleak for the next like 2-3 months.
So what's a good thought-provoking movie we can watch on our own?
Does it
bring
have to be
the people?
thought-provoking?
I mean, otherwise you're going to get
Citizen
a lame
Kane.
Does it have to be
show.
good?
Citizen Kane,
Not necessarily.
Casablanca.
We could go through. Have you guys all seen 12 Angry Men?
I have.
I'd be down to watch 12 Angry Men.
I feel like 12 Angry Men.
Do an old black and white movie just to make. Liam
Liam
angry.
even likes that one.
I like.
even if it's
I
black
like
and
12
white.
Angry
But
Men.
But, yeah.
I think that movie is super interesting to talk about, and I've never really gotten a chance to talk about it with you guys.
Sure.
It's also something I haven't seen in a really long time.
Sure.
It's in like the top 10.
How about we do 12 Angry Men and 12 Monkeys?
There we go.
Do 12 movies.
Have you seen that
Have
one,
you seen
Liam?
12 Monkeys?
I have seen 12 Monkeys. Yeah.
It's a great movie.
I haven't seen it in a long time. Let's do 12 Monkeys and 12 Angry Men. Is our next show
What a
going to be on?
Is there another? Can you think of
theme.
another 12?
What a random theme.
Cheaper by the dozen.
I mean, we have Ocean's 12. But
Ocean 12.
We just
that
can't watch
movie's
the other
bad.
ones.
That movie's bad.
That is a bad one. Ocean 13 is actually better.
Ocean 13. They did
Yes,
bring
12,
it back quite a bit,
12,
but
12
12's
drops
not
off,
good.
and then
Yeah.
and then 13 gets good again.
Hold on. Let's look up movies with 12 in the title.
We can't.
12 Candles? No. Wait.
Seeing as how we
There's
struggle
probably
to
a
watch
lot of
two.
them.
We struggle to watch 2 a week, guys.
There's probably
so
a lot
I'm
of
not going to
them.
give us any more. I like 12 Angry Men.
Well, I'm just looking for other 12 Years a Slave, 12, 1201, 12, 12 and Holding, 12 plus 1, 12 Chairs, Federer,
It's
12
a
Final J's.
futile exercise.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, no, 12 Angry Men and 12 Monkeys are the first 2 ones listed there, so
Okay.
let's do that.
The classics.
All right, so next week we will be going through the classic 12s because that's what everybody on,
And we will be doing it on the 4th.
yeah,
of March.
everybody on March 4th it watches
Yeah, the
movies
12s.
revolving around the 12s, you know, because this is our
Excuse me.
That'll be our
It will be 3,
7,
4.
5.
No, it's 3, 4. 3 times 4 is 12.
3, 4.
3 times
There
4 is
we
12.
go.
Nice.
I'm gonna
I was
mark-
trying to get the year
I'm
in
gonna mark
there
that
at
in our
some point, but
calendar.
I
3
couldn't
It's
get
25. You got
the
nothing there.
get there.
fourth of the third month is the
It's
12th.
12 day.
Is 12th day.
It's the 12th.
12th day. Yeah.
So in
The
natural,
third of the fourth month, so April 3rd
Yeah.
and February 6th and January 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Every month has a 12 day.
Yeah. And we shall celebrate.
do we have to watch 12 movies on every 12 day?
No, because there are only like 10, 12 movies. So we won't be able to do that.
Yeah. Try to keep it at one
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
if possible.
I'm saying it works. We're doing it on a 12 day, so it makes sense. Boom.
Interesting.
The theme works.
Interesting.
12 Angry Men, 12 Angry Monkeys.
The word is real and the joke works. To Nittenba.
Over numerousness. It already is a word. Tenettenba. Can you use it in a sentence? Yes. Hello. That is a nice Tenettenba. If you haven't seen IT Crowd, it's excellent. It's they're definitely like the really long, awkward pause British humor, which I just can't stand. But the jokes are hysterical, so definitely worth watching. And it's not that long.
Greg's playing you off. He said, shh.